You're watching TVC News. Now, 21 years is by far the longest run of democracy in Nigeria. So this could be an achievement of some sort. Now, the contributions of those who fought from the trenches and from exile and even killed have not been forgotten. Now, sustaining this democracy they fought and died for could be the best way to honor them. Joining me now to discuss this further is the chairman of Afenifere Renewal Group, Wale Oshun. Chief Oshun, it's good to have you join me right now. Now, let me take it from what Dr. Usman Bugaje, we just had few seconds ago, said. He said that one of the biggest challenges we have in Nigeria is that the elites that are shaping and influencing the direction of policies and governance and voting pattern and how we're moving are not agreeing. So that consensus from the elite is not there. What do you say to this?
Well, Dr. Bugaje is right in the sense that the understanding that should have accompanied the sacrifices of the past that you would expect to have even from the activists who are in politics, is not manifesting. And then don't forget that you can only have a representative, even amongst the elites. They are representing, or they are representative of the population at large. And one thing that we must all admit to ourselves, which will need attention, is the fact that the values, the basic values that join us together, the basic values that have to do with citizenship, with respect and honor for citizenship, those values are ebbing. And you can understand why they are ebbing, because for quite some time it has been difficult to maintain any level of standard in terms of governance. And there's a kind of disillusionment, both amongst those who are governing and those who are being governed. So to some extent, I want to agree with Dr. Bugaje's observation.
Can the new generation say that if you like you agree with Dr. Bugaje on this, the founding fathers who fought for democracy or who were very visible, leading other people to fight for our independence, like the Obafemi Awolowo and the others, Esala Kintola, Azikiwe, Ahmed Bello and the others, would you say that is part of, they were not visionary enough to look at that elite consensus and ensure that that was settled before independence? Is that where the challenge is? Because every other person seemed to stem from their ideology and what they stood for at that time at the detriment of a unified Nigeria.
No, well, I would say that the founding fathers, Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, Azikiwe, Akintola, and the host of others, they did their bit. And in terms of commitment to nation building, there's hardly a way you can fault any of them. The government in Western region, in Northern region, in Eastern region, in terms of the delivery on governance, in terms of competition, in terms of providing for the needs of their people, you could see a healthy competition amongst them. So the blame cannot really be theirs. I think the military interregnum, when the military, unfortunately, I mean, they are meant to secure a country, and that is their main role, but they are not meant, they were never meant, and they are not even meant to govern. When they came in and started experimenting with certain social values of governance, that is where the trouble started. And then the assault on the federal civil service and the respective regional civil services. Because I say assault in the sense that there is no government in the world worth its salt that is not dependent on a very virile civil service or public service. But the assaults that we had in Nigeria derogated from the confidence, from the integrity. And it got to a stage in which the public servants themselves don't see themselves as people who should help to build the nation. They, as much as is possible, want to help to wreck it. There used to be a time that a permanent secretary's advice can stop the head of state in his track because it is professional advice, it is non-partisan, but you now have a civil service that is divided, that is, in fact, politically partisan. And I'm sure if I say this, it may sound strange, but I'm sure some governors don't see anything wrong in having their palm sex, being card-carrying members of their parties. But in those days, you really would not think of it. And they were professionals, thorough and thorough.
Okay.
But now you don't have that supporting the politicians in governance.
All right. Now let me fast forward to where we are right now. This 2020 is the first year or the first time we are not recognizing May 29th as Democracy Day. Rather, we're starting with June 12th. Now, okay. I understand that the line is off there now, but let me come to you, Asukwa. The point there is, when we look at the democracy that we are practicing now, some of the very visible elements that you see, free press has to be on ground, constant election has to be on ground, the judicial system has to be free and fair, you know, the National Assembly and all of that. Now, if you look at how we have come so far, a lot of persons still say that the way we run these things are still very crude. In fact, if you see approaches to election, in fact, the Edo State government election, the way the build-up right now is like we're preparing for war and all of that. We're still in that trench. Now, what would you say is why we are still in this teething period of trying to build our democracy? Because some people say that what we are experiencing now is what should have been in the 60s and 70s.
I think, just like you said, what we are experiencing now should have happened before, so that we now, our age mates, you know, will be experiencing something better. Because if you look at back then, elections were done in a very peaceful manner, you know, and peaceful manner in the sense that 1993 actually showed that we can
conduct a free and fair election. Let me put you on hold and bring back Elder Wale Oshun here. Now, let me come to where we are now. You are one of those who lent your voice and effort and all your energy and resources to upholding democracy in Nigeria. As it is right now, considering MKO Abiola, who has been the face of the democracy that we have championed, or everyone has championed, including you, how best can Nigerians entrench democracy on a day like this so that it doesn't just come on June 12th, we commemorate it and then we move on, or waiting for the next year to commemorate again and we'll move on? What can Nigerians do to begin to entrench the real democracy that Nigerians are